What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Hunt Recovery. We just don't look for recovery, search for it. No matter how close, no matter how far, no matter nothing, we go find that joint. Now today, I have my good friend Nick from Everyday Recovery. He has a good TikTok channel. He has good videos on it. I'm gonna put his TikTok down below, so you guys can go follow him and go check out his videos. But like today, we just gonna see what's going on in your head,
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me on, man. My name's Nick. We met through TikTok, social media, man, and the recovery community on social media has really grown.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm pretty. My eyes have been opened here in the last year. Realistically, I started doing TikTok a couple of years ago, but like just posting videos and it's just I didn't think recovery had a place online.
Right.
Mm-hmm. and I found some real recovery on social media, which is great. But so my name's Nick, and I'm an addict, man.
Right.
Through and through. And on the way over here, I was thinking about home, where we're at right here.
Mm-hmm.
Is my first detox, my first treatment center was through Home and New Vision in Ann Arbor.
Right.
And I left that bitch a couple weeks in.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
And I was out, just like we were talking about. I was out there using, man. And there was a couple people out on the street as I was driving up. You could tell they were. I mean, I just been there, homeless and broken and broke, and we don't have to live that way anymore, man.
Yeah, definitely not.
You know what I mean? So I don't know your background and kind of where you come from, but I'm from a small town. I'm from Manchester. It's not too far from here. We're in Michigan. If you guys don't know, we're in Southeast Michigan. We're kind of sent. I don't know where you consider Jackson Southeast, but I'm close. Yeah. I'm from Southeast Michigan, this little small town out there, and where everyone knows each other's business. And my family was kind of party family.
Right.
Both my parents used. I grew up knowing about drugs, and my older brothers. I remember I was like 10 years old. My older brother was 15 in his first treatment center. And I remember going to Alpha House in Ann Arbor and going to family group sessions there, and wondering what the hell it was all about.
Yeah.
And thinking I'm never gonna end up there.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Like I was never wanted to be my dad. Was like the number one. And now my dad's a great guy. Mm-hmm. He means well, but he's sick, and still to this day, I was just talking to him. He's still sick, man. He's alive still by the grace of God.
Right.
But he's still out there using.
Right.
My mom's using. My two older brothers are using. My sister's using. So I grew up in that environment, and but I'm still responsible for my own shit, right?
Yeah.
But I remember distinctly the thought of this will not happen to me. Mm-hmm. I'll be able to control this shit, right? I just won't use. And I remember being 12, and I went through this. I had a good friend that lost her life. She was 13, and her 18-year-old boyfriend. Fucked up situation, but he shot her through her bedroom window, and then killed himself. And I was involved. I carried some guilt over that situation, and I was looking for a way out of it, feeling that way. Right. And I found it. I started smoking pot, as a lot of us do. It's not addictive. It's not addictive. Well, man, as soon as I took that first one, it was like, this is what I've been missing.
Yeah.
So I did that for every day. It was right from there. I thought I found myself. Mm-hmm. I thought, here I am. This is what I've been missing. Now I belong. Now I feel like I belong to something. Something greater than me, and something good that's making me feel how I think everyone else must feel. Yeah. Right? Because in my head, no one needed to feel pain. No one you feel uncomfortable, you treat it with something.
Yeah. Like at the doctors, you got headaches, you take medicine. I
I just need a solution. right? I needed a solution to life, and because I never got that solution from my parents because they were in active addiction always, or even if they weren't using, they still didn't have the skills,
Right.
and which is crazy because my dad's a clinical social worker. He's got his master's in social work.
Oh, okay. And he uses.
And he uses.
And that's another thing though. Like, I try to tell you know what I mean. Everybody, like, you don't matter where background you come from or where you know what I'm saying, or what good a job you got or whatever. You know what I'm saying. Addiction is everywhere. It is everywhere, and like a lot of people hide it more. You know what I'm saying. Better than everybody else, but yeah, it's still there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because we all got pain, and that's the thing, and we all trying to bury it. You know, it takes a lot to actually come out, you know, and face that pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, one of the best things about recovery is we get our feeling back. And then the worst thing about recovery is we get our feelings back.
Yeah, that's what I said the other day. I mean?
It's like we're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't here. But you know, I was never taught the right solutions, right? And so that pot was a solution. I started drinking at 12, and when I started drinking, I immediately started seeing consequences.
Yeah.
Kicked off the football team and suspended from school, and all those things. Started getting arrested, and all these things that, like, I told myself all while this is happening. Like, I told myself I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I'm just not that person. This has just happened to me. It's not who I really am.
We always think we're better than everybody else, don't we? Like, I'm not a drunk.
Yeah.
But I'm going to drink every day and walk down the street stumbling. Well, I'm not that guy,
Yeah,
though.
looking at that guy.
You know what I'm saying? You just don't see yourself in the mirror because, you don't want to think that. But it's all addiction and all addiction is the same. And it looks the same. Everybody, you know what I mean? Even some may be worse than others, but I guarantee you, keep it up, you're going to be just right there.
Yep. So in some of the literature that I read, it says although all addicts are the same in kind, we do all differ in degrees of sickness and rates of recovery.
Yeah.
And I found that to be true, But so I started, pot and drinking as normal, we do, right? It's kind of the transition that everyone goes through. At least, see, that's what I think. I try and normalize it here. So pot, drinking, I started doing powder in my mid to late teens, and these are all solutions to life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're all solutions, and they're working. I'm like, this is sweet. I'm going to do this shit forever because it's working.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not having, in my head, I didn't have consequences because of the drinking. I just had consequences because I happened to get caught when I was drinking. Not that I was drinking and doing dope all the time, but that I happened to get caught that one time I was drinking,
You got caught.
That was the problem.
Yeah.
That was the problem. I got caught. Not the use.
Right. Yeah.
So I continued on that path, man, and I managed to go for a while without getting in trouble with the law, like for quite some time. Until I was till 2017, like a long time, man, without actual law, trouble with the law. But well, here and there, I guess. But exactly. So I started, the green, the pot, the powder came in my mid to late teens, and then I started, I broke my ankles. I rode motorcycles and stuff, and breaking ankles and getting into the pain meds, man. In my late teens, started taking pain meds, and you gotta remember this is
drug of choice.
98, 99, and oxys are starting to come around, and they're starting to push them pretty heavily, and I started really liking pain meds, man.
Right.
And getting into it started with Vicodin as my type of DOC. It was like Vicodin and then it was Xanax and Adderall and Ritalin and all these different things, and then it was the Oxy and the general progression of this, and then it was when sniffing them stopped working, my entire life I said I would never ever stick a fucking needle in my arm. My best friend who was with me first time I smoked pot, the first time I drank, the first time I did powder, the first time I, any kind of medication. He was there for all this stuff. He was there when I was born.
Okay.
This guy, like our parents were best friends, and he used to shoot dope. And I've kicked dealers' asses before. Don't fucking sell it. Don't answer the fucking phone.
Right.
I've thrown out his works. I've done all without a doubt, I will never touch a needle.
Right.
And I didn't until, I was in my mid-20s, and I had one stressful day, and I was with him, and he had shot dope in front of me, I don't know, 100 times.
Right, yeah.
And I never wanted anything to do with it. And this day I was just like, hey man, why don't you do that?
Right.
And from then on, it was anything I could put in that point, man. And I was, let's see.
So you did it.
Mm-hmm. It started off as medications,
Right, yeah.
Dilaudid and Oxy, man. And I had crooked doctors, and all the while my life's taking us downhill. We know the progression of this, right? It's all downhill. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, right?
Right, yeah.
But it's all heading that downhill. So I get, this whole time, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but this whole time I've got these codependent relationships that I've formed. Because that's something else I found with addiction, that the codependency, it goes hand in hand with addiction.
Right,
it's still us counting on something else to make us feel whole.
Right, yeah.
People, places, or things. I'm counting on them to feel whole.
Mm-hmm.
So I meet this woman. She's 7 years older than me. Let's see, this is like 2007. And I meet her, and I think I just need a little responsibility.
Right.
That's it. I just need a little responsibility, and then I'll get my shit together.
Yeah.
I always wanted a family, and she's got this 7-year-old, and she's got a 17-year-old, and she's like, she was married before, so I'm like, here's this ready-made family.
Right.
And this is gonna be it. I'll be good. I was working this whole time, man. I always worked. It was one thing I was able to do for most of my addiction. And go figure, more responsibility didn't fix me.
No, it never does.
So we get together, we move in together, and she becomes pregnant. And I think, man, perfect. A little more responsibility. That's all I need. It's just not enough responsibility, because I'm going to work every day. I'm telling myself I'm this functioning addict, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This myth of the functioning addict. And so I keep going with this shit, man. And I had never in my entire life, and I realized this within the last year, man, I had never in my entire life had one person say to me, Nick, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's not okay for you to shoot dope every day. Right. My parents never said it. My brothers and sisters never said it. My brothers or my sister never said it. I never had anyone say, Nick, that's not okay. You should stop doing that. Until I got with this woman, and we started to have kids, and she found out when she was pregnant with my daughter. She found my stash. She found my needles and all this medication up in the cupboard, and she gives me these ultimatums: get clean or leave. Right. And I thought the dope was the only problem I had. And I said, fine, I'll put down all this shit. Right. But I'll hang on to this one thing. Right? I'll hang on to this one because I just need it to feel normal. Here's this illusion of me being different than everyone. And it really became crystal clear when I was with her, me telling her, I'm just different than you. Right. And her name's Kim. I said, Kim, I'm just different than you. You don't need anything. You don't need anything, but I do. You don't understand what it's like to be me. I'm different than you. I need something you don't. And so I'm going to hang on to this one thing. Well, that's not going to work for me, Nick. All right, fine. And that's the first time I went to detox. My daughter was 1 year old, and she was pregnant now with twins. Right. And I'm like, fine, I'll go to detox. I'll get rid of the shit. How hard can it be not to use?
Yeah.
And I go to detox and I go to treatment in Ann Arbor, and I'm there a whole 2 weeks, and I'm fixed, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta get out, I gotta work, because this whole time I'm supporting us still.
Yeah.
Like I'm able to go to work, hustle up money to get what I need to get, and you know, I do that a couple times back and forth. My daughters are born. It's never enough for me to stop.
So what really made you? What was your breaking point? Because everybody have a breaking point. You know what I mean?
So fast forward a little bit, and I continue this like pattern of ultimatum and treatment and detox, and that stuff goes back and forth for years.
Right.
You know, until my kids are 4, my twins are 4, and my oldest is 6. I've been working this whole time. I'm an electrician now. I'm going to, like, I'm actually, like, from the outside view, I'm progressing in life. Now I'm going to school to be an electrician. I'm in my apprenticeship program.
Right.
And I'm making a home to sleep every night, and I'm making my kids dinner and tucking them into bed, and the reality of this, I'm taking them to the park. I started going to meetings because she says this is necessary. And in these meetings, I would hear people share these stories of like this rock bottom. And this is like where I'm terminally unique, right? Unique to the point where I will kill myself being unique. And I would say, I'm functioning. Like I would hear people share how they lost their kids and they're in jail and they're on the street and all this stuff. And I'm like, fuck, I got a house, I got a car, I got my kids. I'm going to work every day. And here's the reality of my life though, is like, yeah, I get up and go to work, but I gotta stop at the dope man's house first. Right. I gotta wake him up. I gotta promise him I'll be back after work to give him the money and get some more shit. I go to work, I'm late every day. I mean, every day I'm late to work. At lunch, I go out for lunch, and sometimes I don't come back because I'm overdosed in a park somewhere. Literally, I mean, it happened probably 6 times in a year. Me waking up 4 or 5 hours later with a point still in my arm, just fucking drenched in sweat, and not show back up for work. And
so you own your company, right? So you didn't really
not that. No, I didn't have anything then, man. I was going to work. I was an electrician working for this company out of Pontiac, man. I did not own shit at that point. So, I had like $100 car saying I was functioning, right? Right. You know, because on the outside I had this stuff, right? Like I said, the reality was like, yeah, I went up and got to work, but I had to be loaded every time. Yeah, I got home to make my kids dinner, but I had to stop at the dope man's house first, or that wouldn't be happening, right? I had to, you know, to get money to do that, I used to have to steal from the place I was working from, like scrap wire and like full rolls of wire, or hustle up some dope, some otherwhere, and, you know, do this, you know, sell this to get this, and man, it was like a full-time job, right? So I did this, and told myself I was functioning because I had that shit. Like I said, the reality was I had to get loaded to go to work, had to get loaded to go home. Yeah, I made kids dinner. Right? I had to be loaded. Yeah, I took my kids to the park, but the reality was I used it as an excuse to go to the park so I could use with them in the car. So like literally, my little kids strapped to their car seats in the back while I'm shooting dope in the front seat. Telling myself I'm functioning. This is this disease where it lies at me and says like, you're good, man. So I continue on that path until she says, you know, these ultimatums I kept getting, and she kept, you know, these boundaries kept getting broken. And, you know, I believe this now, that there is no greater enabler than a broken boundary. Yeah. You know, when someone sets a boundary with you and then that broken boundary, and then you don't get it, it's like, okay. So like, that's me functioning, right? And then end of 2016, she says, Nick, I'm not going to be with you anymore. And I'm like, well, fuck you, blah, 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 and I go do my own thing. Begin 2017, all the things that I said I was functioning over, not overdosing, still having a family and a house and a car and all that shit. Late 2016, like November, she says, see you later, you gotta go. You can still see the kids, but I'm not with you. And then January 7th, 2017 was my first overdose. I woke up in an ambulance with tubes down my throat, my shirt cut off me, and that was the first of many, like, in the ambulance, like, resuscitation type overdose, right? And then I lost the house I was staying out from that. she says, Nick, you can't see your daughters anymore, say bye. So within 6 months, all this shit that I said I was functioning over was gone.
Oh,
and
yeah.
here I am. All right, where's my change?
Yeah.
Where's my change? I'm at this rock bottom. I chased this fucking rock bottom. I'm here. Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I have this belief now that like it's not, this term rock bottom is loaded, and this is a whole other conversation we can have, but that term rock bottom is loaded, I think. And I like to say point of change.
It is, because it don't matter what your rock bottom is, you can always go lower.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? There's no limit to how low you can go at that, you know.
And I think I think the term started off as being something helpful, but over time it has morphed into people thinking that it's dereliction, destitution, homelessness, broken. And so like me, I thought that was like that, so I chased that.
Right, yeah.
I chased it, like consciously in my head. I remember thinking like, well, I'm not that bad yet. I'm not that bad. And I have to get there to change. So I chased it.
Yeah.
And I got that in 2017, you know, beginning. All of a sudden, like I said, now I'm homeless. I'm broken. I'm 143 pounds. I'm 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
143 don't look good on me, right? And so I haven't seen my kid. I can't see my kids anymore. Not a phone call, Christmas card, anything like that, right? I have this like $100 Volkswagen Passat with it's like an attic mobile. You know what I mean? You see it down the road, you're like, oh yeah, that guy's an addict.
That guy's an addict.
Yeah, you know. So that's what I had in a backpack of dirty clothes, and I was overdosing all the time, man, and not seeing my kids, and I was evicted out of the place I was, and I had nowhere else to go. I'd given up on life, and my dad shows up comes into my house, actually breaks into my house it was like the last week I was able to be there, and drags me up north in northern Michigan.
To go to rehab.
Well, no.
Oh, just drop you off.
Just to get the fuck out of there, man.
Oh, okay.
And I went up north, and I used for another almost 2 years with them, with my parents, with my brother was ripping and running. Now I'm shooting meth and dope and anything I had given up on hope on life, you know. All of a sudden I'm in this trailer park in northern Michigan talking about trying to get this RV, and I was like excited to live in an RV. Like I remember this like excitement to live in this busted ass RV. And all while not seeing my kids, man. I love my kids to death, and not seeing them, man, was like the worst punishment. I remember sitting there. My parents had this couch, and I would sit on their couch, and I'd like curled up in a ball and just screaming screaming at the top of the lungs. What the fuck is wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong? Why can I not stop using?
Right.
And so this keeps going until 2019, man. It went on for a long time, man. Ripping and running, selling dope and overdosing, and you know, being in all these really horrible relationships with these women, you know, girl from rehab and this other shit, and you know, rehab romance. Don't ever do that.
No.
Don't ever do that shit. Our character defects will come out. Mine will in many different ways. You know, and so here it is, 2019. I hadn't seen my kids in 2 years at this point. I'm just a fucking gray skin shell of a human being, and it was February 9th, 2019, and I'm standing in my brother's bedroom at my parents' house, and he had gotten arrested a couple weeks before that, and I'm looking for his dope. I knew he had some dope there. I knew he had some meth there, and I'm looking for it. And I'm like, I know it's here somewhere.
Right.
And I find it. I find a chunk of it. It's up in his curtain rod. And I'm like, yes. You know that feeling like you're dope sick, and then now you have some, and you're like, yes, all this poison. Thank you, God.
Right, yeah.
Right? I mean, because that's what it feels like. And I called Katie, who's now my fiance and 2.5 years clean herself. But I called her. We partied together before, you know, and I said, you know, I thought she wanted to meet up.
Right, yeah.
Like, she just wanted the truth, right? But I thought she wanted to meet up, so I was in this real good habit of like telling you what I think you want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, whatever gets me through this moment. So I was like, I'll meet you in an hour there's a town in northern Michigan called Honor. And it's kind of funny that, and I'm just thinking about this now, but like, that honor,
Yeah.
you know, HONOR, you know, like with the lack of honor that I had. Anyways, so I tell her I'll meet you there in an hour. And I know this was a lie. Like, I knew it in my heart I wasn't going to do it. And man, I'm not kidding. It was like someone hit me in the fucking chest with a baseball bat. And I was like, and I said, Katie, I gotta go. And I hung up the fucking phone and I made this deal in my head, man. And I said, I'm gonna call a treatment center right this very minute. And if they take me, if they pick up the phone, I'm gonna make a change. And if they don't, I'm driving out to Lake Michigan. I'm stopping at so-and-so's house first, picking up this dope, and I'm going to take myself out. Right where I wanted my ashes spread. Everyone knew where I wanted my ashes spread. I'm going there. And I'm taking myself out if they don't pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And, you know, I called and it rang, and it rang, and it rang. I mean, it seemed like 50 times, right? It was probably like 6 times. And they said, months in treatment, Traverse City, Michigan, or Traverse City, drug and alcohol treatment. How may I help you? And I just lost it, man. I was like, I'm ready. And I expected them to have, I shared this story actually this summer out here.
Right.
In the garden out here, but I said, I'm ready. And I was like, expected them to be like, all right, get Nick's bed ready.
Right.
Like, he's ready now. Just get it ready. He's here. So they said, we got a bed for you, Nick. But not till the 12th. And it was the 9th. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do till then?
Yeah.
And I stayed in that bedroom, man. I stayed in my brother's bedroom and I did that dope I found. I'd love to say that I just threw it down right there and didn't and stayed sick, but that's not my story, man. I truly believe my higher power. I know it sounds crazy every time I say this, but like it was dope I wouldn't overdose on. It was meth, and like I really wanted to be shooting some fentanyl right now, you know, at that point, and but it was enough to keep me in that room, man. Till the 11th. Like, it was like just enough to I mean, like, this is added justification here if you ever hear it, but it kept me in that room till the night of the 11th, right? And I drove myself to months of treatment in Traverse City on the 12th of February 2019, and I remember I sat down at the intake across from there, and she said, Nick, what are you willing to do for your recovery? Fucking anything.
Yeah.
And I remember she saying that you won't have a problem then. You know, and I said, what do I do? I'll do fucking anything. She said, all the dumb shit we tell you to do, you know, the thing you were too cool to do before treatment, you know, groups and like writing your feelings down and all that stuff. Do that shit.
Yeah.
Do it with an open mind. We're going to take you to some meetings. Get involved in a group. Keep the desperation that you feel right now, keep that shit. And I did. She said, if you keep that desperation, you're not going to have a problem. You'll be fine.
That's
and
true.
So the first night I went to a meeting, that night I got involved in a 12-step fellowship, and I'm still a member today. I did 28 days of treatment up there. I got out 4 months clean. I got called my best friend, the one who I, you know, first to do every kind of dope with me, first one to stick a needle in my arm, was like, I got my business now, downstate. That was 3.5 hours away from my daughter still.
Yeah.
You know, my daughters are down here, and I was still up north. And said, "Come down, work for us. I got a house now. I got a room that you can stay in. I got a blow-up mattress for you." And that was I moved down, I brought my backpack of dirty clothes I had in my $100 car. Beginning of June 2019. I went to a meeting. The very first thing I went out. We got down here, dropped my bag off, went to a meeting, and made it my home group. It's still my home group today. I started getting involved in service. I stayed clean. By July 1st, I had leased my own house.
Okay.
So this is like 5 months into my recovery. I moved downstate, leased my own house, and I want to be clear about this. Like, I couldn't do any of this shit without a fellowship, without people in recovery. Like I say me, but it's not me.
It's not.
It's just not, right? I made a huge mess of my fucking life, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and you did.
I don't know how I'm still here.
Yeah.
Right? So I did all that shit, right? And I did what was suggested to me. It was so fucking simple. It was right there all along.
Right.
My whole life it was there. Here's the solution, Nick. Don't use. Keep coming. Pray a little bit. Like, don't fucking use.
Right.
And keep coming back. And like, it was there for so long, man.
Well, I want, so I got some questions. Because these are hard questions, but like, there need to be, I don't know.
I gotta finish this real quick, man.
Okay.
Because this comes full circle. And I know we've been at this a while.
No, you're good.
So the house that I moved down into, okay, where I moved in with a backpack of dirty clothes. That house today, let me say at 6 months, I started seeing my daughters again.
Nice.
At 8 months, or I started talking to my daughters again. At 8 months, I started seeing them again. And then at 10 months, they started staying at the house again with me for the first time. I moved my fiance down. She's been clean for 2.5 years now. She stayed using for a while. But that house that I stayed in with a backpack of dirty clothes is currently the house that is our house now. And my daughter's room is the room that I was staying there with a blow-up mattress and a backpack of dirty clothes. Is my daughter's room, and I have them 50% of the time.
Nice.
I'm a proud and present father, and it's only through recovery.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Like, the fact that I can be a father again is amazing. Go for it, man. It's gotta come full circle.
Yeah, no, it has to.
It's
and
amazing.
You know, it is amazing that you can, all the stuff that you accomplished, because like you gotta take, credit for that shit. Like that was, it's tough. You know what I mean? Like honestly, recovery, addiction is tough, but I'm not, recovery is tough too. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot, bro.
You just gotta choose your heart. It's tough either way.
Yeah, it is.
And recovery is so much easier than using, man.
Oh,
it's so much easier than using. And I just didn't know because I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing I knew.
Yeah.
I just needed to learn something new, and that's it. You
So,
have to be an open-minded person.
So you never relapsed ever since you got clean, right?
No.
What made you not relapse? You know what I mean? And that's like a big question because, and like, don't get it wrong. Like, like me personally, ever since I've been in recovery, I relapsed twice. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, so relapse is a part of recovery. You know what I'm saying? Not a part of our recovery, but it happens. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is. It's about just getting back up there and keep going. But, you know what I mean? What made you not relapse?
Staying involved with the program, and I get helping newcomers. You get to see people still struggling. You know that struggle's out there. And realistically, man, I relapsed many times before.
Right.
Like I started going to AA and NA fucking 15 years ago.
Right.
And I went to treatment 4 times. I went to detox 4 times. Like I'd been clean for a little bit and relapsed. A month here, 2 months there, things like that. I've been on the MAT program before and relapsed and played this fucking juggle game and this last time I got on the MAT program. And MAT was a great tool. MAT is a great tool. I'm like a firm believer in MAT. Harm reduction, Cali sober. I don't really give a shit how someone does it. If you're not ruining your life anymore, and you're okay with it, like I am all for it, man. It's just too dangerous now to just have a abstinence only fucking thing, man. So my question is just, are you ruining your life? So for me though, it was my kids, man. Being able to be a father again because I'd given up on that. I'd given up on. I coach softball. I'm like a softball coach for 5 years now.
Nice.
People trust me with their kids.
Yeah.
In the town that I was started shooting open.
Yeah. So
this small little town.
You had to change. Well, you had to work hard to change that persona of people, what people had. The look, the way they looked at you and stuff like that.
Realistically, I still get the looks, but I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I just let my actions speak for me.
Absolutely.
For who I am, and the thought of not giving a shit what other people think of me is a huge part of it, man, because I can get caught up in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, another question I have, do you still have, using dreams?
Dreams? On occasion, yeah.
And, using dreams and, cravings?
No, I do not have.
You're not
The
okay.
obsession has been lifted, man.
Okay.
You know, I've had fleeting thoughts before of like not even like wanting to use, but just
Fantasizing.
like, what if, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like romanticizing. I like to
Yeah.
call it like I'm romanticizing the use. That it was like a fun time. Not that I want to do it again, but that it was fun.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that there was some fun in it, and there really wasn't since I was 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it. Other than that, it was pretty fucking miserable all the
And
time.
that, and
I might have been doing fun things, but I was fucking miserable the entire time.
yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, that's a long time. You know, since you was 12 until, you know what I mean? Like, that's a long.
25 years.
Yeah, that's a long time to, you know what I mean, be an addiction. And it, you know, like I say, you have to give yourself props. But like, you know, a lot of people, you know, they can't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's hard to get, you know, to get out of. You know what I'm saying? Well, my last question before we go is like, what's the hardest part to you of recovery?
So obviously the getting clean is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Opening my mind that there was a different way to live.
Is the hardest part.
Because it was the only thing I knew.
Mm-hmm.
It was the only solution that ever worked for me. Like ever.
Right.
You know, I used since I was 12, and I never had solutions before that. They were all given to me. Solutions were given to me by my parents and my family friends and all that stuff. And then when I started, you know, when that's a common age to start using for addicts, right?
Right.
Because we're looking for a way out. And you know, I think, you know, just opening my mind and having an open mind that there is another way to live.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and realizing that I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah, I mean,
and dropping my ego, I guess is what it is.
It is really
dropping my ego.
And I get that too, because like I tell them and like I tell everybody, like me, my first addiction was criminal activity. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was addicted to, the high of doing criminal things and stuff like that. So now that I'm in recovery, it was like I never had a bank account. I never had a job. I never had, you know, I mean, I had jobs doing construction. I've been doing construction my life. Everything from pouring concrete to walls to, you know, framing, you know what I'm saying, all that shit. But to actually have a, you know, high school diploma, and you know what I'm saying, I never had that because I was always selling dope. You know what I'm saying? I was always doing the street, doing criminal shit. So like I said, especially like the bank account and credit and all, you know what I'm saying? This is all new, like, you know.
Absolutely.
It's a whole new lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? And so like, yeah, that was my biggest thing right there.
Yeah, we gotta learn how to adult.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we were never taught that. You know, I was taught how to pay bills late if you had to pay them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you hustle the money to get it at the last moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just barely scraping by. Man, I've been fortunate that I've followed, you know, it was told to me early in recovery that find someone who has what you want and ask them how they got it.
Right,
It's real I mean, it's like, it's so simple. I'm not saying it's fucking hard, but it's so simple. Like the steps are, it's all there.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to ask someone how they did it, and then do what they say.
Right, yeah.
Like there's not some like I remember thinking that there's got to be some secret to all this shit, to recovery, to business, to relationships, and all this stuff. It's like there are really simple principles involved in it.
Yeah.
Really simple. But I can complicate a fucking ham sandwich.
Or,
you know what I
me
mean?
too.
Like I can complicate that shit.
Yeah.
And I'll put the meat on the outside, and you know, like I'll complicate whatever it is, man. I'll think I know a better way.
And
I just don't, man.
And that's the thing, though. You always, you got to, like you said, put your pride away. You know what I mean? Put your pride to the side.
Yeah.
You know. But all right, we're gonna close this out because I know you're busy and you got stuff to do. You want to get back to your family and
I'm
stuff.
gonna hit this meeting here, man. I guess if I can do that, man.
Yeah, we can. But I want to thank you for coming in and doing this. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate it. Again, everybody's Everyday Recovery Nick. Go check him out. Like I said, I'm gonna put his TikTok down below. You know, go follow him. We got good things.
I got. There's YouTube and Instagram too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, but I just don't do a lot on it. You know, TikTok, the live on TikTok is really where we've built a really good community.
Right.
And it's pretty amazing, man, what we built, and I can't do it without people like you. And if you're one message I want to say just to anyone out there is like, there is absolutely zero things special about me that makes me or Hunt any more likely to recover than anyone else.
Right.
Like nada. There's shit. Like there's absolutely zero special about me that makes it any more likely than you to recover. All this is the secret. Just follow directions.
Right.
Of someone that's done it. Like, find a program. I don't give a shit if it's AA, NA, Smart Recovery, Celebrate Recovery, Well Sobriety, Women for Sobriety, Dharma, MAT program, Mara. It does not matter. Pick one and commit to it and watch your life change. I promise you it will. And if you can't commit to a program, just to commit to not using, and your life will still get better. But you want to find some freedom, find some type of program and jump in both feet, man. Like, I'm a business owner today. I've got my kids more than their mom. I got the kids. I took them to Disney World last year. Like, I've got all the material shit isn't recovery, right? Material stuff isn't recovery, but I never would have it without recovery, right? And it's possible for anybody to have. Anybody.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
Everyone's out there.
Yeah.
All right, you guys know I love you guys. We out. Peace.